What's going on, guys? Billy here, and by now I'm sure you've heard that Waypoints 2.0 has hit the DJI Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom in a recent firmware update. A flurry of videos hit YouTube, and so many people went over what it does, ran some tests, and showed off its basic functions. So what I want to focus on is how to actually use Waypoints in an effective manner by showcasing a few useful scenarios. Jumping right into things here, the first way that you can use the Waypoints 2.0 Intelligent Flight Mode effectively is to simply shoot better moving video with your Mavic 2. I prefer to get my shots by manually flying and controlling the gimbal manually, as I can achieve a more complex shot. But if you're a new flyer, or if you just don't have much experience taking video with your drone, then this will help you shoot more engaging footage. I often see a lot of people taking shots that look like this. They just go straight up, or maybe they just fly in a straight line, sort of like this, and while these work, they often lack a sense of composure, which makes them easy to blend in with what everybody else is doing. With Waypoints, you can shoot something that looks a little bit like this. You'll see that as I fly over this parking lot, I keep the museum in frame. It's flying at a pretty decent pace to give us somewhat fast-paced footage that I love to shoot. The main problem that I have with this is how the drone jerks to the left as it rotates. To me, this would be something that I couldn't use just because it's so rough compared to something that I would shoot manually. Now, for that shot that you guys just watched, I used two waypoints facing towards the art museum, and I even tried dropping a point of interest on the art museum one time to see if it would make it any smoother, but unfortunately I was not able to mitigate the rough movements made from the drone. What I realized after this attempt was that I was trying to fit a square peg into a circular hole by trying to turn the Waypoints flight mode into a point of interest flight mode, but at the same time, I feel like the drone shouldn't give us footage that looks this rough. I set out to try again in another part of the city, and this time, instead of trying to do a circle around a building, I flew in somewhat of a straight line while decreasing my altitude along the Schuylkill River. Remember, this was done with the Waypoints Intelligent Flight Mode, and I don't see much of a jerk as the drone rotates, which makes this a shot that I could definitely use. I found that if you don't have too much of a rotation between your waypoints, then the drone will handle its mission much better. Another helpful tip is to not crank your speed all the way up. We can't go to the full 31 miles per hour of our drone, which sucks, but something around 10 or 12 miles per hour is what I found gives the best results. Now heading over to the iPad, you'll see that I set up two waypoints with different heights, different headings, and different gimbal pitches. This way, when everything was all said and done, I got a lot of complexity between the drone dropping its height while moving backwards and keeping the skyline in the frame. This time around, I also set my points manually by flying the drone to where I wanted my waypoints to be set, which gave me much better results. I like that we have the option to set waypoints by tapping, but you shouldn't really expect something that looks exactly how you want it from doing that. Staying on the same method of shooting video with the help of Waypoints 2.0, we can actually save any of the missions we create to our mobile device, which allows us to reenact the same shot over and over again, which can give you some pretty creative results. Let's say that you wanted to create a unique transition. You could fly this path during the daytime and then fly it during the nighttime, making that seamless transition that looks so damn clean. Now, I have to level with you, that shot that I just showed you was actually taken manually, so I did two separate flights and I had to try to line it up perfectly by eyeballing it. It was actually taken from a video that I uploaded a while back, like probably one of my first few videos showcasing some drone footage from Ocean City. It's pretty cool looking back at older videos, but some of them sort of make me want to cringe. Alright, so it's cool to be able to shoot video with the help of Waypoints 2.0 and get those creative shots, again, by going, say, from day to nighttime by using the same exact path. But where I think Waypoints 2.0 is the most beneficial is during inspection work. So let's say you're hired to go and inspect some sort of area multiple times. It is very important to be able to deliver images, videos, and photos that are from these same exact locations, just so that your client can reference back and be able to know that basically they're looking from the same exact location. And with Waypoints 2.0, it allows you to do this, and also it automates the process, making it easier for you. Here, let me show you an example. So over near the Penn University campus, they are putting up this massive new hospital, and let's just say that I've been hired to document the progress of the exterior work being done with my drone. The client wants me to send them a video of the outside as well as photos from different angles on a bi-weekly basis, and keep in mind, they all have to be from relatively the same areas, and I'll probably have to visit well over 30 or 40 times. Using waypoints, we can automate a flight plan so that all I need to do is show up and have my drone basically do all of the work for me as it completes its mission, going from spot to spot, capturing everything that I need. The video you are watching right now and have been watching for the past 30 seconds was taken fully automatically using the Waypoints intelligent flight mode, and I was also able to take these 3 photos, again, all without having to touch the remote controller. The drone took off and came back to me once everything was completed, and all I had to do was push one single button. Now, taking a look at my iPad, the way that I set this mission up is pretty simple. I've got 6 different waypoints, and you'll notice that I'm in the vicinity of 2 different airspaces, both of which are heliports for the Penn University Hospital. I called before to make sure I was okay to fly. Also, I wanted to let them know I was in the area, how long I'd be there for, and during my entire flight, I had to make sure that no manned aircraft were coming in for a landing at those heliports. But anyway, back to the waypoints. You'll notice, again, I've got 6 of them here, and my first 3, 1, 2, and 3, these were for video. So right now, you can't see where the hospital's at because, again, this map is an old picture. It's not going to show us exactly where that hospital is, but it's right here in the middle. You'll see that they're kind of breaking ground. So I went around and I set all of these points manually, and you'll notice at the first point, I wanted to make sure that the video started recording, and then once I got to the end to that third point, it stops recording. And right now, I've got a pretty good arc going all the way around that hospital, which gives me a really good video at all the angles accessible with my drone. Now, from 4, 5, and 6, I set it to take a photo, and what's really important to be able to take these photos is to make sure that they are framed properly. If you're going in here and you're just tapping around and saying, I want a photo at 4, 5, and 6, and you leave those markers, chances are you're not going to get the actual hospital or what you're trying to shoot in the frame. So for me, I went to each of those points. I made sure my gimbal was set, I made sure that my height was set, and I made sure that everything was perfect. I laid to that waypoint, and then from there, I was good to go. I actually got some really decently framed photos from that. So that was a pretty easy mission. Again, it probably took me about 10 or 12 minutes to plan. I came down, I landed my drone, I threw in a fresh battery, and now if I had to go back and inspect this site, say 4, 5, maybe even 100 times, I'd be able to run this, send it over to the client, and it'd be pretty easy work on my part. Stemming off of this talk of inspection, you could also use waypoints to patrol certain areas, whether it be traffic or fields or borders or maybe even beaches. You can easily do this automatically through waypoints. Here I am on my iPad again, and let's just say that I've been tasked to monitor the traffic along I-76 in Philadelphia between a certain set of exits. I can plan my mission to have my drone safely fly over the water. Right now, I've got 4 different waypoints, all of them angled towards the actual highway itself, and then I set a gimbal pitch of, I believe, -50 for each of these waypoints, and basically my drone just flew down and analyzed the entire highway. Really, it was super simple, and if I wanted to, I could actually zoom out a little bit more and go even further down the river if I needed to. And the great thing about Waypoints 2.0 is you can actually continue a mission even if signal is lost. So if your drone flies out of signal, it'll complete your mission and then fly back to you, which is a great feature. That just makes Waypoints 2.0 in my opinion. Here's the video from the mission that I ran, and if this is something that I had to do regularly, then I could get in a groove of potentially doing 2 runs up the river per flight and then landing to swap in a fresh battery. In this time, I could also swap SD cards to dump footage, send the files to local news stations maybe. I mean, this is just one application that I came up with that is pretty much in my backyard. I think that this will be much more useful to patrol beach areas or fields with little to no manual flight required. Now, with everything that I just went over, you're probably thinking that Waypoints 2.0 is an incredibly powerful tool, and it is, especially when paired with the Mavic 2 Pro and Mavic 2 Zoom, 2 drones that are probably best in class right now for automated flight because of their exterior sensors and the long 30-minute flight time. You've got a great drone that can be used, again, for automated flight for whatever purpose you want, whether you're shooting video for just yourself, just for cinematics, or whether you're going to be shooting video and photos for inspections. I think personally, I'm going to just continue to fly manually. It allows me to frame everything up as I need to. I'm able to take more photos if I need to, if things change on a job site, but it is nice to know that Waypoints 2.0 is there for me to lean back on if I need to. Now, if you guys have any questions about Waypoints 2.0, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. It's a little bit more advanced than Waypoints 1.0, so if you're coming from like the original Mavic Pro or the Phantom 4 series, you might have a little bit of trouble of actually jumping into it, but it took me probably like 30 minutes to really learn how to use them, and from there, I was able to hit the ground running. Anyway, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed these scenarios I gave you. If you have any more, leave them down in the comments, and as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.